Do you feel like your trials have somehow followed you into the new year? In today's video, we'll be talking about 5 tips for when long trials weary your faith and exhaust your patience. When things look like they are about to get a lot worse, know that deliverance is near. God is literally always working things out behind the scenes. So as I work out today, I want to take you along with me. There's a story I want to share just about this concept. I remember the story very clearly. There was a girl giving her testimony about a really horrible experience that she had. She left her country when she was very little and she went to another country to live, and each year when she would try to get citizenship, and each year it would be denied. And this year she got a lawyer on the case and everything, and it seemed as if, it was finally gonna come true. And when she opened the letter, once more it says denied. There was an appointment supposed to be scheduled with immigration. When she went in, that was the last time she saw her mom. She went in and immediately they said that she was going to be deported that very day. And at first she was scared, but then she prayed. And God gave her this peace that still baffles me. Even while she was on her way to the airport, she still believed that God was somehow going to deliver her. She sat in the waiting room just waiting for the plane to get there, and she still believed. She spoke to the lady at the front desk, and she said, "Today you're going to be deported no matter what." She sat down knowing that God was somehow still going to deliver. The lady picked up her phone. She had received a phone call, and it said that she called her up to the desk and say, "You're not going to be deported. We're going to take you back home." The only thing the lawyers had that could literally keep her in the country was the very same thing that I said appeared to have made things a lot worse. The fact that her mom was diagnosed with cancer and she was the only child living at home with her, meant that if she was deported, her mom would not have anybody to take care of her. And so her mom's diagnosis of cancer, which was in one instance bad news, became the very thing that saved her from going home. And so there's some connection between I've often heard it said that you should stand still. Stand still. And it's like a cliche to me, and I don't know what standing still means. And so I've experienced a really rough year here in France. And I've literally been paralyzed into standing still. And learning what it truly means to stand still actually means that we keep God's commandments. There's some connection between peace and standing still. In Exodus chapter 14, from 13 to 15, there's a conversation happening. Moses is saying to the children of Israel, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." He said that the Lord will fight for them and they shall hold their peace. And the very next command that was given was go forward. See, standing still doesn't mean you do nothing. In fact, you omit the things that should not be done and do the things which you should. And God's wish for us is that even when we're in turmoil, that we are waiting and wanting to know His will, wanting to follow His command because He will say it. But oftentimes when we're too anxious, when we cannot wait, when we're not having that peace, He speaks, but we cannot hear His voice. So God, in the midst of it, is trying to allow us to hear His voice. And the third tip is resting in God's promises. Jeremiah 32 verse 27 says, "Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me?" Ecclesiastes 7 verse 3, "Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of countenance the heart is made better." It's more about God's will and less about our own. If there's anything a trial will teach you, is that God's will for you is always greater than our own. And we really honestly need to just trust His will for our lives. The final tip, number 5. Know that we often go through trials not for ourselves, but so that we can help others. Trials were not meant to break us. In fact, it has little to do with us and a lot to do with others. You see, trials were meant to be a testimony to others that if God can take me through it, then He will definitely see you through. Let's summarize this way. When I say David, insert your name. When I say Saul, insert your problem. David's conclusion that Saul would certainly accomplish his murderous purpose was formed without the counsel of God. Even while Saul was plotting and seeking to accomplish his destruction, the Lord was working to secure David the kingdom. God works out His plan, though to human eyes they are veiled in mystery. Men cannot understand the ways of God, and looking at appearances, they interpret the trials and tests and provings that God permits to come upon them as things that are against them, and that will only work their ruin. Thus, David looked at appearances and not at the promises of God. He doubted that he would ever come to the throne. Long trials had wearied his faith and exhausted his patience. David's life was for our example. So know this, that when things seem as if they're getting a whole lot worse, that God's deliverance is near. And standing still means that we are surely standing, waiting for God's command. And we can be rest assured that His will is greater than our own. And know that we often go through trials not for ourselves, but to help others.